Hey everybody, this is Mickey G. You know, why do we wait till we get older to stop listening to our bodies? Well, all I can say is being hard-headed almost took me down. And me and Rodney talk about that in this version of Old Fools Talking Old School.
Anybody that's got a half a brain know DoorDash can't go up to you even got the gold-plated, the Oval Office right there on the side of the thing. I'm like, "Look at this idiot." Ain't no way no DoorDash gonna walk up to the door. He's just that simple to think people will believe that.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the way that he every day he like one day he's gonna blow away the civilization, next day, oh, we're talking about a piece of cord, and I'm like, okay, you go from
Yeah.
there, we're gonna blow up the Carg Island, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna, work with the Iranians and charge people to go through the strait. It's just
Hey,
every day there's something different, just to the point now to where it's almost like you listen said, w- don't even halfway pay attention to what he got to say because we know that ain't gonna happen.
right,
You
and it's a
know,
lie. I mean, just
yeah.
like he's sitting up there talking about the strait, we're gonna put a blockade up there. The Iranians already got a blockade up there. What are you talking about? I was telling Rosin that the day we were talking about it. I said, he just to make it look like he's in charge. Hell, the Iranians are controlling that. He
Yeah.
like he go, then ride the coattail on it. Well, we're both gonna be charging to let people come through. No, you're not. And if I was them damn Iranians,
Yeah.
come over here and bombed up my place for no reason, and we got to reconstruct all this stuff. Nah, I'm putting a $2 million price tag on getting through here, and you ain't getting shit.
None of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just talk that old
Oh,
broad to these people out here who are gullible enough to believe it. We're gonna put a blockade on there. Hell, the Iranians already got a blockade on it.
yeah. And the Chinese have now come out and said, that's okay. We'll give them some oil. Don't worry about it.
Mhm.
So I'm like, here you go. Now we're pulling another superpower into things. And
Mhm.
of course that distracts what the Russians are doing in in Ukraine. So yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I think it's a typical example of how when you go into something with no kind of plan, what
Right.
happens? You have to sit back and try to adjust every day because you had no plan of what you
Right.
wanted to do, what the end game was going to be, and he had his little press conference, to tell the American people what. I'm like, why didn't you do that before you started? Most presidents come out and make their case to the
Right.
American people at the beginning. Oh, this is why we're doing it. This is why you don't wait till you get in there and you get in a situation where it's all backfired on you, then come out and
Right.
try to tell them what all you going to do and why you're doing it. I said, that's ass backwards.
Yes, sir.
But that's just
Yes, sir.
that's just how
And
he
then
is.
and this idiot ain't got sense enough to understand all those soldiers over there, Marines and infantrymen, they just sitting in limbo, away from their families for no reason,
Hmm.
and you sitting over here, and then every time we turn around, you get to the deadline, we know you finna taco. You finna well, in another 2 weeks now, I'm like, come on, man. Them dudes, them young men and women don't know how long they gonna be gone or what
No,
they gonna be doing.
no, no, no. And it's a bad situation, and I think it's not only with him though that we've gotten into this thing with conflicts now to where it seems like there's as much concern about you know loss and how many soldiers and airmen all we lose in a conflict as anything else. Back in the day, that really wasn't so much of a concern. Of course, we had different kind of conflicts back in those days too, but,
Yeah.
everybody said from day one, you just can't bomb yourself to victory. You gotta have some boots
Oh,
on the
yeah.
ground that can take control of things.
Right.
And they got, like you said, they got the folks over there to do that. I just think everybody, including him at this point, is very hesitant to do that because I don't think the American public wants to stomach a bunch of casualties coming home.
No, they don't. They never have.
Yeah.
That
So
that's
I
what most of our adversaries know. The Americans don't want it because they don't want to. They know there's an uproar with people over here if their family members are going, especially on some BS like this.
mhm,
And
mhm.
but it's I don't know. It's just a sad state of affairs. We done been there, done that. Vietnam, Korea, and
Yep.
we got drugged into World War II. But yeah, but they attacked us, so that was that's when you saw Americans galvanize with one another. But these other selective wars, and I was just thinking about it the other day. All he does is use our military as his mercenaries. If you don't, he tries to strong arm people like he's in the mafia. If you don't do what I say, then we're big and we're bad and we got the world's most powerful military. And he thinks that shit. His dumb ass, he he knows more than all the generals. Well, that's what you get right there. Everybody know that if you're gonna have a conflict like that, you gotta have the eyes on the ground. He done pissed all the countries off. He done pissed off not only our spies but the other spies. Ain't
Right.
nobody coming to the rescue. We ain't got no intelligence from on the ground. He's just thinking what he's seeing because he's such a attention whore with this television thing. He think everything is gonna be fought on television, and he just ain't got a clue. We're just ass out there. You better be glad we got a strong military, cause other than that, you know, but inevitably that's gonna run out too, though. So I don't know, man. It's just when is somebody gonna stop it? Because I know if Obama had done half of it, he'd already been impeached or killed one.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah.
they would have invoked the 25th Amendment. This dude has showed all the classic signs. He's a lunatic, man.
And the bad part is there's so many people in his party, even though some have now started to come out in sort of sporadic matter about some of the things that he says, but there's so many of them that just wanna sit back and say, "Okay, just let him go. Let him go, do whatever he
Yeah,
wants to do." No, that's not try to check him. And I'm
that's
like,
it.
that's not doing good for the country. I mean, gas prices up, food prices up, all the things that he said he was going to do. He said, I'm going to bring food prices down within the first 90 days. They've steadily gone up. So, and there's people who just sit back and say, oh, well, he's doing great, great things. I
Yeah.
saw a reel the other day. This reporter had one of these guys, this white guy with a MAGA hat on, and he so what good things has President Trump done since he's been in office? And the guy sort of stumbled around and said, "Well, I wasn't expecting you to ask me that." And I was like, "Well, obviously you can't think of anything. I wasn't expecting you to ask me that." But but there are people that just see no wrong. I don't care what happens, and that's the scary part is that you have people who are that so lame-minded that they're just gonna sit back and just see nothing. And a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there.
Oh yeah, ain't no doubt about that. And it's like anything else. Their racist bigoted attitude overlaps everything. You can't even put gas in your car or buy no groceries, but keep on screwing me, Donald.
That's what I'm saying too. That's the thing, what has he done for us other than do things that's raise prices on gas, raise prices on food, almost everything we have, lost jobs, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
What positives has he done since he's been in office, other than, like you say, act a fool and do things that people look back and say, I can't believe the president of the United States is saying these things, doing these things." It's almost like sometimes he's almost acts childish, when he
he
was talking
is.
about the Pope. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. And I'm saying to myself, well, he probably ain't a big fan of yours either. You know, he's soft. He's very liberal. I'm not a big fan. I'm like, okay, just like a child sometimes, and
That's what he is, man.
that's why I truly think he's got some issues. I think he has some issues, and that that AI generated picture that came out yesterday of him, looking Christ-like, and he said,
Ah,
"Oh, I thought that was me looking like a doctor, helping people, and because I help everybody," you know?
see how childlike that is? That's like
Yeah,
a little child got caught in a lie,
yeah,
you know?
that was me as a doctor, there was a Red Cross person there, so I think it was me as a doctor, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness," but I think he does things like that just to get things going. You know, I think he does it on purpose. You all right, brother?
Man, yes, we went down the wrong pipe there.
Oh, okay. I I've done the same thing too, man. As a matter of fact, boy, Saturday I almost went down Saturday, brother.
Oh, yeah?
Oh man, we was out there. Tamara wanted to plant plants, so she's got this green thumb the last couple of years. So, Dad, let's
Mhm,
plant some plants. So we was out there planting stuff, and I kept telling myself, you need to go get you some water, some Gatorade or something. Always, oh, let me finish this and I'll go do it. Let me finish this and I'll go
mhm.
do it. So finally, I went and got some, and I sat down for a little bit, and she was out in back, so I said, okay, I'm gonna come out there and help you. And I went out there and I was digging up some flowers and things, and man, all of a sudden, my vision got bad, and I felt like I
Oh,
was getting wobbly. I said, hey, I need to go sit down. I ain't feeling right. So I went and sat down, and I'll sit there in a chair for a little bit outside. I said, I'm going inside. I said, I need to go inside and lay down. So I went inside and went back to the bedroom and got my blood pressure thing out. Took my blood pressure. Man, my blood pressure was like 80 something over 30 something. I said,
oh,
oh my
wow.
God, I ain't never had a blood pressure that low in my life.
I'm telling
Man, I
you.
went in there and grabbed me one of them big bottles of Gatorade, drank it, laid down on the sofa and put my legs up and stuff, and I sat there for about probably 15, 20 minutes and fell asleep. I fell asleep, got up and went and checked it again. It was back up to normal by then, but yeah, man, I said, boy, you about to stroke out, and you out there talking about, let me finish this, and I'll go get me something to
Right,
drink. I said, you can't be
man.
doing that stuff. She said, Dad, you all right? I said, well, I said, I ain't as young as I used to be. I got to start listening to my body. As I told myself an hour ago to go get something to drink, and I did. But yeah, man, I was about to stroke out there.
Oh, man. Good thing, man, you caught that.
Yeah, yeah, and I could sort of feel it coming on. I mean, I said, "No, you can't play around. Just go sit down." Like I say, my vision was getting funny, and I was feeling wobbly and stuff. So yeah, I was like, "You can't play around with stuff like this." So uh,
Not where we are now, man.
no, man,
I
no,
was I
man.
was telling myself, I got Roz will laugh at me. I got an assortment of flip-flops that I wear. Oh, I talk about her with these tennis shoes every time she see another pair. "Oh, I need to get me some of those." I'm like, "Dang, girl, what you buying out you got a damn, a shoe store in this closet back here." But I guess I can't talk too much because I got about 7 or 8 pair of them damn flip-flops. I see some I like, and I get them. I done stopped buying them now. But anyway, long story short, I like for I kinda got a wide foot. I like for it to have room in it, so I usually are more comfortable with the one, like, one size up,
Right.
like, I wear a 10, so I get a 11. Negotiating them stairs now with the way my equilibrium seems to be, I'm like, "You gonna fall your ass down these stairs." And sure enough, it's one of them things, man. I was just in the kitchen this morning getting me some coffee, and I made a turn to go to the other counter, man, damn near stumble into the refrigerator. I was like, "Damn, what is going on?" And so, we were just discussing about, getting some things done around here, they get these windows done and all that. So, I told you about they had to do my, foundation, right?
Yeah, yeah. You was telling me about that.
Yeah, they did it, man, and I'm like, "Okay, cool." Then they came into our breakfast nook in there, and they had to I guess they were checking to see if nothing was going on closer to the interior of the house, so they knocked up all my damn tiles down there, broke I don't know how many of them. So They put it back. I got some tiles around here. I don't know what the hell I did with them, but it wouldn't have been enough
Right.
to do what they did. So we got this gash right in the middle of the breakfast nook into the kitchen of where they need to replace the tile. And when you walk by, they fixed it up and the foundation, put new concrete and all that down it. But you have a little dip down from the tile.
Mhm.
And every time I walk through the door, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna fall down in this sucker. And so I was telling Ross, I said, "No, first things first. We've been lining up our little projects." I said, "No, we got to get that damn floor fixed before I fall and break my damn neck."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so we gonna have to do that. But boy, I mean, I can be up, be in the bathroom or turn around from the commode where I just took a piss or something and head to wash my hands, man, and damn near stumble over. I'm like, damn, all I did was turn to the right. you know? But man, I don't know. That equilibrium, boy, you know?
Yeah. I know what you mean. The same way with me. I have to catch myself sometimes, uh, to like you say, just to keep myself upright. Not that I, fail about to fall. It just I could tell I was off balance.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and I've had to do that. I've had to do that too. And it just seemed like now the older I get, the stiffer I get, and
Oh, man.
that my finger, the one I said I had that uh, trigger finger thing on, they
Yeah.
gave me that cortisone shot a couple of months back, and I really had forgotten about it. I totally forgot about it. So one day the other morning, I was in there in the bathroom, did something, that thing locked up again. I said, "Oh man, it's back," and
Mhm,
it is back. And I'm
mhm.
now I got to decide what I'm going to do. Do I want to go out and continue to get these cortisone shots, or get some surgery done? And I'm like, 'cause them cortisone shots, as you know, aren't fun.
No, they ain't.
They're
No, not
not
at
fun.
all. And I need to get another one in my shoulder, man.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame, man. I got down, like them theater lights up in the ceiling,
Mhm.
and I had to go get my 16-footer. Hell no, it ain't. I got my 16-footers out there. This one here, I don't know how tall. I had to climb up on there and stand up on the top shelf and reach and reach, and then the damn light feels like it's so flimsy. I had to straighten it up because it's a straight shot in, but they tilt.
Mhm.
And man, I sit up there and fumble with that thing. I finally got it in there, and I found out I caught myself trying to leave it tilted so it would never let me screw the bulb in, so I had to straighten it out. And then once I did it, I had to turn it a certain way for it to come on. It like it had a short. So anyway, to change one light, I was up there for about 30 minutes with my bad shoulder with leaning up, reaching up. Man, that was what's the day? Tuesday. That was Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Been hurting me ever since, boy. I'm up here now smelling like biofreeze, bruh. I put that. I was trying to tough it out. So it'll get better. And I use it. It'll get better. Well, it wasn't getting no better. I was like, it let me know every time I turn on the side to lay down. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's the way it was me. Like I say, the fingers there, my knee still bothers me where I got that partially torn meniscus in it. It
hmm
still bothers me, and I'm like, well, that as we've said many times, that's just part of getting old. At
yeah.
least we're still around here. But tell you, all them little aches and pains, and don't sit down for any length of time and then try to get up. I
hmm
gotta get it up and almost just stand there for a few seconds to sort of get everything sort of together before I step
Yeah.
off.
Mhm.
So
I don't know how many times I done let this recliner down and stood up and fall right back down in that sucker, man. Like, damn. Ain't got no balance. I told my yard guy the other day, he did the first cut. I said, "Hey, man," this is before I mess with the light.
right.
I said, "Hey, man, I'm finna go out here and service my rider. I think you come every 2 weeks, and the in between week, I'll run over it, y'all come every 2 weeks when you do all the weeding and all." Like, "Oh, okay, Mr. Turner, just let me know. Let me know how you do it." Man, after my shoulder started hurting me, after this, I'm like, "I'm gonna call them back, now y'all come back every week. I ain't finna get out." mess with this mess. So, boy, I tell you, it's frustrating too because you know you used to do, and now, boy, you start thinking about what you used to do before you do it now because you know the consequences gonna be.
Yeah, yeah. I need to get out there and I've got some landscape bricks around this mulch bed. I had the trees, took out some firs in there. We had some kind of like disease kind of thing that affected like evergreens and firs around, and it got into mine.
Mhm.
I took one down. I had three. I took one down a couple of years ago, and the other two got to the point to where it was probably 10% green and 90% brown. I
Yeah.
said, yeah, that's just looks terrible. So I had the guys come and take it down. So I got these landscape bricks I put around. I had around them for a number of years, but you know, they always after a while they always start to tilt. They won't stand up straight. So I go out there
Mhm.
and try to stand them up, and they stand up for a couple of weeks, and then they start to settle back down. So I'm just gonna take them all up and move them to the back of the yard, just leave it like it's a natural border around it. Just from the
Yeah.
dip in the dirt where the bricks were. And I've been trying to convince myself to go out there for the last 3 days to do that. And and
Hey.
I was gonna go Monday because it was a little cloudy and all. I said, 'Cause I know the issue with all that sun. I already went through that Saturday. So I said, I'm like, "Well, I'm still getting over Saturday. I ain't gonna go out there today." Well,
Yeah.
today, it was nice and sunny. I said, "Well, you ain't gonna
Yep.
go out there in that sun and pass out almost like you did Saturday." So I told myself I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'll see if I talk myself out of it tomorrow or
Hey,
not.
it don't take much.
It don't.
It don't
Oh,
take
it
much,
don't. I said,
'cause
"Man,
I
that
was
kind
gonna
of
get
stuff
my
I wouldn't think twice about. I'd be right out there
yeah.
doing it." Now it's like, "Oh, boy, get yourself motivated to get out there."
Yes, sir. Then think about the consequences, you
Yeah,
know? Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna get my more serviced up and go out. Man, I ain't thought about going back out there, man. I'm like, this stuff, boy, is more than a notion, man. I just like when they coming to do them windows, I gotta take all my blinds down. I said, I think I'm gonna call my boys over here. It sound like a Turner project coming up.
I know. Well, at least you got the boys to call on. I ain't got no boys to call on. So usually it's me and Tamara. She'll help me
Mhm.
out sometimes. With stuff. But I was thinking the same thing. I said, I need to have. Well, I need. There's a guy that used to cut my grass. That I had to sort of let go because he was just sort of unreliable. And everything. But
Mhm.
other than that, I mean, I really don't have anybody that I can call up and say, "Hey, man, come over here and do this for me or do that for me," kind of. So I need somebody like that. I can just call
Right,
on to come over and do that. I really don't have anybody
right. I
to do that
understand
for me.
because I don't either. And then some of them out here, when you call them out here, man, I'm just like, You're absolutely ridiculous if you think I'm gonna pay you that."
Hmm.
Anytime you want somebody to do something around here, it was 2,500, now it's 3,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything. I'm like, "Hell no, I ain't paying you that much money." And, it's like, the dude that does my mold and gophers, at first, there was another guy there. And, I just said, "Oh, I'm tired of this," plus I was trying to kill him myself too. And so after a while, it got to be more than a job. So I called him back, "Man, I want to resume that service." "Oh, you gonna try to go up $25 on me?" I said, "Well, I tell you what, you can keep that you doing. I ain't paying you no $25 dollars over what you charged the last time." I said, "We didn't have no contract, so I didn't breach no contract with you, but I ain't paying you that. Thank you, but no thank you." And all of a sudden they come, "Oh, Mr. Turner, we can do it for what we were doing." And I said, "Oh, really? Okay." Now you're speaking my language. He tried to make you a little side money or something. So,
Yeah, and they do that kind of stuff, but I realize too, things have gone up so much, everybody is going up on everything.
oh yeah,
The guy that does my yard for me, I thought they was gonna probably go up this year, but they haven't so far. They haven't gone up. I thought that's what they were gonna do because seemed like, everybody same thing that we were just talking about with gas prices and everything going up.
hmm
I said, "They got a legitimate defense." Everything's going up. I gotta put
oh
gas in my
yeah,
mowers, I gotta put gas in my trucks to transport them around and stuff. But so far, they ain't gone up.
yeah. I was looking for that too when I called my yard guy. "Well, Mr. Turner," because they love to do them little $10 increments,
Mhm.
and, but he didn't say anything. He said, "Okay, sir." I was like, "Okay, well, thank you." I'm gonna keep him though as long as I can, because I had him, clean up and do my, uh, landscaping. For some reason, them leaves trap up behind my little bushes and stuff. And I get out there and try to blow them out of there, especially when the wind blows, because I blow them right out there so that wind will take them on back where they came from. And, last year, I asked him to trim the bushes. He said, "All right, sir, I can do that." He said, $20. I said, "Huh? $20? Oh, please do."
I heard that.
I said, "Please do." So I'm gonna wait the next time he comes and, "Hey, man, you wanna make another $20?"
Dang,
See
you
if he
can't beat that price.
I'm telling you, man, and it's all across the front. Uh, bushes and got one little tree in there, a little ornamental thing. And but then again, I'm thinking I'm confusing him with not the price, but I'm confusing him with the ones I had before. They were real good. He got out there, he did it for $20, but it's like that old saying when the welder went to interview for a job, he did two wells. One was half-assed, and he said, "Well, that's the $10 job." And he said, "That's the $30 job. Which one you want?" 'Cause he butchered my poor trees. I was like, "Damn." I had to go out there and go over myself. So,
Yeah.
I might have to one of these days pump me some Aleve in there and get me one of these gin and tonics and go out there, and then I'll probably butcher them. But I just go over them. They keep the shape. I just get the ones that's growing up out of there.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. I got some out front like that when the spring comes and they start to, get leaves on them and stuff. There's always some that, get longer than the other, and I go and
Yeah.
just sort of trim them down to match the other. And that's usually about the only time I do it. Matter of fact, I need to do it now 'cause I told this guy I wanted to bring some mulch, and I want to get it done before he brings the mulch. So I
Mhm.
don't want to you know, trim him after he's did it and then try to get all the leaves out of the mulch and
Right,
that stuff, so I gotta
right.
get out there and do that now, but I've only got, like, 3 or 4, and they're not that big to do, so I gotta do that same thing myself.
Mm. But see, I was gonna do it this weekend. I was like, you know, uh, damn arm started hurting from changing that light out. I'm like, "I ain't doing jack. I ain't going out there." 'Cause I was I was gonna do all that because all this rain is coming in. I said, "Well, I'm gonna get that done before the rain comes in."
Mhm.
But it didn't happen, so I don't know. This upkeep is something else.
It is. It is, I tell you, there used to be a guy back when matter of fact, he helped move us in when we first got here. He was working with one of those day labor kind of, companies, and he had
Mhm.
moved us in. He said, "Man, if you ever need anything, just give me a call. Don't go through them. Just give me a call." I said, "Okay." So me and my uncle used him, but half the time he was in jail. We'd call him, and nobody answered the phone, and we'd call his dad. "Oh, he's in jail." I said, "Oh, man." But, he used to come out and I'd get him to do stuff like that, but that's been years ago. I don't know if he's still in jail or what, but because I know the times that he would come out, it seemed like every time he came out, he was with a different woman. They'd be driving him. They'd be bringing him
Oh,
to the
yeah,
job and sitting waiting
yeah.
on him, and once he finished, he'd go and get in the car with him. And there was a couple of them that were just very attractive girls, and I'm
Mhm.
saying to myself, what do you want with him? You gotta drive him around. He can't drive. He's in and out of jail. He can't keep a job. Why do you wanna be with this guy? But you would think they had the world's richest man, you know?
Yep,
I like, "Boy, I don't know what he got going on, but he got something going on, and it ain't
I'm
it
telling you.
ain't money because he
Yeah,
ain't got none of that."
man, we talk about it all the time when Ross is always talking about, "That's not all women." I said, "I didn't say all women now, but there seems to be a significant number of y'all that will settle for a whole lot less." I mean, even they're like these girls around here. I mean, they're everywhere. They're attractive looking girls, but they go and do all this other to make them look unattractive, you know? I mean, I was
Mhm.
like, "Good God, man, what you already don't you have sense enough to understand that God gave you a gift? You look nice right now, but that ain't good enough." You know,
Yeah, yeah,
when and a lot of times when you do yourself up with all that other stuff, that's the kind of dude you attract, you know? So, it's
I said the
amazing to
same
me.
thing. We were talking about that the other day. Young lady out at, I don't even know what the name is, home style, home front, something. I only go out there every now and then, but she was in there. I went in and, as I was walking up, to her, she had her back turned, and I'm like, this looks nice here." And I said,
Mhm,
"Excuse me." And she turned around, and like I said, I think, and I may have told you about it, I think she had everything on her face pierced.
mm,
Nose, lips,
mm,
eyebrows, all, and I said, first thing I said to myself was, "You're a very attractive girl. Why would
mhm.
you go and do all that stuff?" To me, it just distracted from her look so much, and I even looked at, if I was a business owner like there, I would have said, "I don't know if I want you,
Exactly.
greeting and helping our customers," you know? Obviously,
Exactly.
they must have didn't it must not have been an issue because she was working there. But yeah, I said the same thing, you're just so naturally attractive. Why would you do that to yourself?
And
I
it
don't know.
boggles the mind, man,
Yeah, I
you
don't
know?
know. I guess it's
Yeah.
just the new generations, they have a whole different outlook on things like that, I guess it's just a change in the generations, I don't know. Yeah, I believe in that saying, "To each his own," but sometimes I just don't know what people are thinking. I know it's a different generation, so we just move on. Hey, thank you all for listening to this edition. Join us next time for Old Fools Talking Old School. Until then, this is Mickey G. Peace.